mine is already.
Yeah, look. Wow, look at mine.
Yeah, look at mine. Oh, you have a double. How did you do that? Wait a minute.
We're
We're live.
Oh, okay.
Hello,
Hi, everyone.
everyone.
Welcome to the 7th episode of MindSET. My name is Virginia.
And I'm Barbara. Thank you for tuning in today. We are very glad you're here.
And as we've gone out of lockdown, we're focusing on skills and tips to help you deal with the stress and anxiety surrounding the holiday season. And things are changing all the time, but we will be here for you to help you regulate your emotions during the holiday time.
Yes, we will. Yes. So obviously, having said that, we will be taking a break over the holiday period. So what we want to do for you is we want to put together a pre-recorded set of tools, like a toolbox for you to use over the holiday season. And to make it relevant to you, we want to ask you what you would need or what you would want. Yeah. So what are some things that you think that you might be struggling with over the holiday period? We can, build the relevant skills for that, right?
Mm-hmm. And if you're new to MindSET, welcome to this 1-hour live stream. Today, me and Barbara will be guiding you throughout, and we will be featuring our resident therapist, Daryl, who specializes in DBT and has many years of experience with the NHS and also private practice. So say hello, Daryl.
Hello, Daryl.
Oh, he's so good. He does just what we tell him. Thank you.
And if you want to catch up on previous episodes of MindSET live streams, you can go on the Body and Soul Instagram, which is at Body and Soul Charity. And in there, you can find a campsite link where you can find all of the resources in one handy place.
Yeah.
Now it's time for MindSET on the Move.
Over to you, Daryl. What have you got for us today?
What we've got today is a mindfulness exercise, and this is a different one to what we've done before. So this one can be a little bit uncomfortable for people, but that's great, right? Because we want to practice being uncomfortable sometimes and getting used to being uncomfortable. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to sit with your feet flat on the floor, find a comfortable position, and all you're going to do is just follow my instructions. Yeah. And if you do find it uncomfortable, just try and stay with it. So feet flat on the floor, either eyes closed or just a downward soft focus. And then just listen to my voice. So the first thing is just to notice your breathing, but without doing anything about it. So I'm just going to ask you a question, wait a few seconds and ask you another question, and see if you can find the answer to the question. So, can you feel your hair touching your head? Can you feel your belly rising and falling as you breathe? Can you feel the space between your eyes? Can you feel the distance between your ears? Can you feel your breath touching the back of your eyes while you inhale? Can you picture something far away? Can you notice your arms touching your body? Can you feel the bottoms of your feet? Can you imagine a beautiful day at the beach? Can you notice the space within your mouth? Can you notice the position of your tongue in your mouth? Can you feel a breeze against your cheek? Can you feel how one arm is heavier than the other? Can you feel a tingling or numbness in one hand? Can you feel how one arm is more relaxed than the other? Can you feel a change in the temperature in the air around you? Can you feel how your left arm is warmer than the right? Can you imagine how it would feel to be a rag doll? Can you notice any tightness in your left forearm? Can you imagine something very pleasant? Can you imagine what it would feel like to float on the cloud? Can you imagine what it would feel like to be stuck in toffee? Can you picture something far away? Can you feel a heaviness in your legs? Can you imagine floating in warm water? Can you notice your body hanging on your bones? Can you allow yourself to drift lazily? Can you feel your face getting soft? Can you imagine a beautiful flower? Can you feel how one arm and leg are heavier than the other? So just when you're ready and in your own time, see if you can bring your attention back to the screen, to the room, or whatever. Okay, so what did you notice in that time? Did you notice the body sensations? Did you notice yourself getting distracted? Did you notice judgments?
Helia says, at first I could follow really well. Towards the end, I got distracted because my back started to feel uncomfortable.
And Carmen says, I noticed my mind didn't wander so much this time because the questions kept me focusing on the body and the practice.
So if that's the case, we can just use anchor points. You can use guided stuff to keep you on the task. Lots of people, particularly when they start doing mindfulness and things like that, they find that really helpful. Just to have instructions, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And of course, the person that noticed their back, well, great, because we want to be aware, right? Because if your back keeps hurting, you might want to do something about it. Yeah. So we can't change. We can't change unless we're aware of a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So Barbara, what about you?
I noticed that my heart was beating quite fast, and I was anxious because I got distracted thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to, what feedback can I give that's going to be useful for people in case Daryl asks me to feedback. And
Yeah.
then I also, like, I judge some of the things like when you say, can you feel the space between your mouth? And my mind says no, and gets kind of angry. I didn't time travel apart from just judge myself.
Well, I noticed a bit of time traveling because you were thinking about what you would say after.
Oh, yeah.
And you also said about feeling anxious, and yeah. when we're projecting into the future, that's what makes us anxious. How's that going to be? What am I going to do? Am I going to pass? Am I going to fail? So yeah, so anxiety is always projecting into the future. We don't feel anxious. We're not worried about being killed for something that we did a year ago. We're not like thinking, God, I was on a beach a year ago, and I nearly drowned, and I'm scared of nearly drowning in the past. Yeah, the past is about sadness, and the future projections are about anxiety. So that's what you were saying when you felt anxious into the future.
Yeah.
We want to be now. We want to in now. What's happening now, Barbara? You're just sitting in a chair talking to me, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Did that kill you, do you think?
No.
Okay. So you don't need to worry about that right now, unless I come through there. All right. So that is it for the mindset on the move.
Right. Thanks, Daryl. And thanks to everyone that that fed back. Now, at the moment, it is time for Tool of the Week. For this week's Tool of the Week, we are going to be looking at a really important skill, which is problem solving. So we're going to look at, once you've checked the facts and once you see that your emotion is justified, what can you do to solve that problem? And Daryl is going to let us know. So over to you, Daryl.
So problem solving. Aren't we going to have someone phone in for the problem
We're
solving?
gonna have someone phone in, yes.
Yep, we have P joining us.
Hi, P.
Hello.
Right. So the first thing that we do when we're trying to solve a problem is we take the emotion, and then if we solve the situation, then this will change the emotion. What do you think the emotion is, P?
The emotion for the problem I have is, should I read out my problem or?
Yeah, tell us what the problem is. Yeah.
Okay. Like, what do I particularly have a problem is, I like overly fond of a particular work. Like, I have planned a work, I have started the work, and this work I would have turmoiled very hard. Okay, I would have invested all my money. I would have taken it to up to 90% of the completion. Now, at the time of 90% of the completion, I start judging about the work. That is, until 90%, I would have taken the work very nicely. I would have done it to the perfection and everything. But at that 90%, I get a particular feel where I review the work. I review it, whether I have completed to my full expectation or not, whether the supervisor who is in charge has actually performed his work to the extent or not, and has he tried to cheat me. If he probably he would have cheated me in real also, but I then judge it out, and then I also assess whether the people around me are getting involved in the work or not. This occurs at the 90% after the completion of the work, which would have been a very hard work, which I would have done for around 2-3 years. All these things make me to develop a negative feeling towards this fond work. The work
Right.
which I would have done very nicely for around 2 years, it starts developing a negative feeling, and this negative feeling then makes me to procrastinate the work.
Right.
And
Yeah. Okay. Can I stop you there? Right. So
yes, please.
So the first thing that we want to do when we're trying to problem solve, right, is because if you keep going, what you're going to do is you're going to create this is going to be a big, and it's going to feel like an overwhelming problem, right? So the first thing that we do with a big problem is we break it down into lots of little smaller problems, right? So that you said a couple of things there. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at, so the first little problem that we're going to look at, is it that you complete 90% of the work and you struggle to do, and that you review it too much? Or is the problem that you do 90% of the work and you're worried that your supervisor is going to steal it? So what's the first little problem?
I review it too much. The supervisor generally don't get RE of the work. It is I who myself get RE of the work, and who I myself review even the supervisor's contribution to it.
Okay, so what is it that you actually, so when you get to the 90% done, right, what is it that you do? Do you keep reviewing it?
No, I then kind of develop a negative feeling against some of the problems in it, and then my mind shift to get comfortable with doing something else, some other work. Actually, that 90% would only get benefit when it becomes 100%, or when it gets submitted to the benchmark. So when then I kind of move on to the next work, and I kind of see from a distance this 90% of the work, and I also get a lot of worried that that's 10% is still there almost daily morning.
Right. So when you've done 90%, do you then get distracted and pulled away into doing other things? Is that what the problem is?
Yes, perfect.
Right. Okay. So just for people that are listening, right, one of the things about problem solving, right, is that people often just keep describing problems to themselves, right, going again and again, and they don't spend enough time on actually working out what the problem is. So one of the ways that you can really help you is to work out, make sure you're accurate about the problem. So I'll give you an example, right? Where, if I think I'm an idiot, if I just think I'm an idiot, right? How could I actually solve that problem? It would be very difficult for me to solve the problem of being an idiot, right? But what I could do, right, is I could look at the situation that causes me to think that individually. So I could think, okay, I leave my house at 8:30. I start work at 9. It takes me 45 minutes to get there, and I keep getting late, and it's annoying me. Yeah. If I describe the problem accurately, then even as I get the right problem, I start to solve it in my mind. So I'm pretty sure that a few of you were thinking, well, why doesn't he just leave his house a bit earlier? Yeah. And that might help me solve the problem. So the problem that we're looking at, right, is doing 90% of the work and then getting distracted. Yeah. So that's definitely the right problem, right? At 90%, you get distracted.
Yes, yes. At 90%, I get distracted and I move on to I then kind of develop a fartherness away from the work. That is, I try to do all other work other than that, completing the 10%, and this creates a lot of emotional conflict in my mind.
Yes, yes. So the emotion here would be fear, right? You do 90% and then you're fearful or worried about finishing it. So Pete, let me ask you this, right? So thinking just in the short term, right? What is a realistic short-term goal of your problem solving? So what would need to happen for you to think you've made progress with this problem? What would you see?
That would be when I kind of I have see I kind of do like 10 works. Out of these, this problem does not occur with all the 10 work. It is with some 1 or 2 work which I am able to identify that this particular problem is cribbing in. That gut feeling comes in. Then what I actually would tell that solution has come is when I am getting that feeling and right away I am putting my full force onto that work. I am able to stop everything voluntarily just to complete that 10% and to have it see the shore, crossing the shore, and then recontinuing my work. That is, I want to pull myself up when I am able to identify that particular problem is cribbing in with that one beautiful work which I would have done for a long time.
Right. So what would you, so this is so what would you what would you see happening if this problem, if you were on the way to solving this problem, what would you see happening? Would you be spending more time at your computer? Would you would you be talking to other people about, what would you see happening to think that you were on the way? What would you be doing? What would you be doing?
Okay, so I generally don't talk to other people regarding the work. That is I keep it as a last resort. That is something which is last. First, initially, what do I do is I kind of don't touch that file at all. Like if there is a particular file which I would have almost moved in daily, that file would have got my imprint almost 1,000 times. That file will stop. I stop getting my touch at all. That is when I realize that this particular thing creeps in. I kind of keep the file very much far away, and then I try to even keep that file on my dinner table. I will touch everything other than that particular file, and
Right.
it becomes a lot of stoppage feeling to open that file and see again.
Right. So in order for you to think you'd made some progress, you would be able to open the file.
Yes, open the file, reviewing with full mind and reviewing with the confidence which I would have taken it beautifully until 90%. That
Right.
confidence does not come in the mind.
Okay. So, right. So the next thing, so the realistic short-term goal of the problem solving would be that you were able to go back and read it after you hit the 90% mark, right?
Yes,
Right.
perfect. Yes.
Okay. So you see what happens when something like this is happening is that when you think of solutions for this, right? So when we start to think of solutions for problems, we quickly start to evaluate those solutions. So, and they go through what's called a mental filter. So what we would do here is, so the mental filter might be, if I go back and read it, I'm gonna, it might be, I'm gonna find loads of mistakes, or there's loads of worries that come up. So what we try to do the first instant we're going to try and do is override your mental filter. So, instead, so what we would do here is we would brainstorm as many solutions or coping strategies that you can think of that would get you to read this file, right? So what I want you to do, Pete, is I want you to throw, and Virginia and Barbara, I want you to throw as many solutions as you can for P, about what they could do to get tucked into the file. So Pete, do you want to start? So don't think the solution through, just invent them.
First is just going, opening the file, sitting in the table and reading it.
Right.
With
So having the
on.
file, having the file open on the table and reading it. Okay.
Yes.
So mine would be to print every page out and decorate your room with it. Only look at the file while you're eating pizza. So just throw loads of ideas at it. Come on, Barbara.
As well, yeah, we want to hear from you too. So if you have ideas for P, pop it in the chat box, please. Okay.
Yeah, Mabel said super glue your hands to the laptop. Yeah. So P, the idea is just to keep throwing different solutions.
Okay. Booking a particular outstation visit just to finish the work. Just finish the work. We specially book a outstation visit and then do, or making reaching the station almost 2 hours before, just to take out some time to take the work forward, because all these I have tried in my life.
Okay. So, yep. So I would say maybe do some breathing exercises before you do it.
Okay. Get someone to read it to you. I think that's and then Mabel also says, set a specific time every day to open the file, no matter what.
Yes, that's
let's get some more. Do a mindfulness exercise before you do it. Go for a run, change your heartbeat, use some skills before you do it. So we just want to get as many solutions down as we can.
Breathing exercises, any of the breathing exercises, P, that we've done in this, like any of the mindfulness exercises we've done.
Yeah, there's some other ones. Let's read those. I know, Pete, wear a Batman costume every time you want to read it.
Yes, that's a beautiful thing. Just one thing I do sometimes is I try to finish all the distracting work, that I am left with no other work than to do the main work itself. That is, I get a lot of distracting work. So like I try to finish off all the distracting work, that I remain empty, that at last I am forced to open the file. That's one way I do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get some of the other suggestions down. Let's write them down. Can you read them out, Barbara?
Yeah, Beth says work 2 hours. What else? Lucy says Lucy says ask a friend to do a study session with you. They can help hold you accountable. Josen says special outfit. Josen also says have a theme song. Mabel says, set a lock on your laptop to block internet or distractions. Beth says, give yourself a treat after every few hours that you work on the file. Marwa says, do the 5-second rule. Rana says, make it a habit to work on the main work for 30 minutes a day, first thing in the morning. Don't mind about quality, just do it, even if you just stare at it for 30 minutes.
That's a very good suggestion.
Okay, so Pete, so what I want you to do now, right? Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
There's loads.
Thank you so much.
So I've not finished with you, Pete. So hang on a second, right? So what I want you to do is, like, from all those suggestions, right? Which 2 ideas look best to you?
This make it a habit to work in the main work in the morning. I feel that's a very good suggestion. And one more thing I feel is super glue your hands to the laptop. That looks funny, but it means a lot, because it means that you have to glue it and you will have to do it. I feel that kind of weird things. I kind of one time tried this in a different way, that I tried to kind of lock myself to a chair sitting up, but at last even I just ran out of that also.
Okay, so what we're going to do, right? So we've got two the solutions. One is to make it a habit first thing in the morning when you're fresh, and the other one is super glue your hands to the laptop, right? So then what you would do, Pete, is you would do you know a pros and cons? Do you know what a pros and cons is?
Pros and cons of the solution.
Yeah, yeah. So what you would do is you would do a pros and cons of those two solutions, right?
Okay.
So what would be and a pros and cons is thinking about the benefits of something and the consequences.
Yes,
So
yes.
what would be the benefits of which one should we choose? What would be the benefits of doing it first thing in the morning?
Okay, so doing it first thing in the morning would be that it gives very less time for my mind to make a judgment about whether to do it or not. I get up and immediately open the file. I don't let my mind to think, and
Yes.
immediately I just start up and I do it. The
Yep.
con would be that that I would be having some routine, because this is a work which I would have procrastinated, and it is done. So my routine work also would be there, so it might in a way kind of hamper my routine work. But I feel I can still take it a call, because that is some work which I have already invested 90% of the time, and it means a lot towards to reach its completion.
Okay, so the next question is, right, what would be the benefits? What would be the benefits of not doing it first thing in the morning?
The benefit of not doing it first thing in the morning is that it will make me less anxious, because opening the file is going to make me anxious. So if I'm not going to do it, it will kind of make me feel comfortable. And what I also do is, instead of this work, I used to do all other work in a very faster way. So that would actually help me to do other works in a routine way, because just to escape from this work, I used to do all other works in a fast way.
Yep. Okay. So what would be the consequences of not doing it first thing in the morning?
The consequences of not doing it first thing in the morning is a very big emptiness of mind, that I have not completed the 10% of the job. It gives me a lot of sadness, and I kind of keep on thinking about the 10% in between my festivals, in between the happiness, in between all the moments. And I also feel very guilty on when I go back and look at the people, or look at the persons who I have approached for taking it until the 90%. Those people, I always get a bad name in front of them.
Okay. So I'm going to explain the rest of it. I don't know how we're doing for time, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to so what you would do then, P, is you would do a pros and cons of the first solution, then a pros and cons of the second solution. And then what you'll do is you'll see on balance, right? On balance, which solution looks the best to try first. Yeah.
Okay.
And then what you would do is you would then list the steps that you need to take and see how well they work. So for example, you might, doing it first thing in the morning, the first step that you might do is make sure you wake up in the morning. Then it might be turn the computer on. And every time you do that, you tick it off, and then you might look at, well, what happened? Well, you know what? I couldn't turn my computer on. So you now have a new problem to solve. Yeah. So and so you would keep going through this, and you would make it little steps, little tiny steps to doing it first thing in the morning. And every time one of those steps didn't happen, you would problem solve that little step. Yeah.
Okay, that's a very beautiful thing. Okay, I have to divide the main thing into a small steps, very minute steps.
Tiny. That's the way we solve big problems. Tiny little steps. And then look, sometimes when we try to solve one problem, a new problem comes up, but we just do the same thing, and it's kind of, we repeat this cycle again and again. And hopefully we can put on So what we can send you, Pete, and everybody, is we can put on Instagram some of the questions that people can go through in their minds, and a little schedule of how to plan this.
Okay, that's a very beautiful thing. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Thank
Okay.
you, Daryl.
So
And thank you, Pete.
Thank you so much.
Pete. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So those are the tools to practice this week, everyone. And then don't forget that in your weekly reminder email from us, everybody at home, you'll get a link to all the resources. And if you're watching this on YouTube later, you'll find everything in the campsite link in the bio of the Instagram page, which is @Body and Soul Charity. And now, I feel like I should have like a bell or something, or a drum roll, right? Because it's competition time, yay! Or competition result time, rather. So if you remember, we asked you to submit some song titles with emotions in the title, and we had some really great entries. Well done, everyone. Now on to our competition winner. Who could the winner be? We have a picture of the winner enjoying the new yoga mat. Now, listen, I know some of you at home might be going, rigged.
Fixed.
No, it was not fixed.
It was not rigged.
How many song titles did you send in, Virginia?
I sent in 50 song titles.
50.
Don't worry, Barbara. We're going to have a different competition.
I want to win.
Yeah, you're going to win next time. Yeah, for this competition, we want you to send your holiday playlist on Spotify with the songs that can get you out of unwanted emotions. This time, rather than having the most number of songs, everybody that enters will have a chance to be selected. So it's a draw.
Yay!
And yeah, so for example, send us a song that can help you get out of sadness or when you're very angry. Send us your Spotify playlist, and the winner will get a nicely curated well-being kit, which is curated by all members of the MindSET team.
So it's going to be good.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So send them.
Yes. Right. So that's it for this week's mindset. If you get a chance, do spread the word to others who want to improve their mindset too. And you can share the Instagram page as well, @Body and Soul Charity, with the campsite link in the bio, where you will find everything that you need. And if in the meantime you have questions about the skills that we've covered, emotions, etc., then do send us an email. You can email us at mindset@bodyandsoulcharity.org.
And most importantly, we want to remind MindSET viewers that this is not crisis support. So if you find yourself unable to keep yourself safe for the next week or next hour, please contact your university crisis service if you're registered, or your mental health well-being service and nearest A&E department. The Samaritans can be reached at 116-123.
We hope you stay with us every week. And in the meantime, everybody,
Keep
working on your mindset. Bye for
Bye.
now.